I am not going to do anything to a child. It's not where my heart is. I would never do anything like that. That's not Michael Jackson, I'm sorry.
So Michael Jackson used his life to protect children. Yes, revealed.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Wow. It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we got to do. You got to hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. Think rich in 2026. Think rich in 2026. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. We back with another one. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget. Also, make sure y'all tap into my TikTok, man. It's super lit over there. We have a good time. Live trash or pass, live conversations. Just super dope, man. Make sure y'all tap in. But we back with another one. We got the warning signs from celebrities about the dark side of Hollywood. So we're going to see what this like, squad. If you make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
Is fame as great as it looks from our side of the TV?
Probably.
I mean, I've been with you, and it's very hard for you to have a private moment, especially when you walk out.
Yeah, no, it comes with its lack of privacy. It comes with no longer meeting strangers anymore. It comes with losing an anonymous soul, which I think is necessary for everybody, especially any artist. It comes with people have pre-made biography on you before howdy, and they jump right into sorry about your dog. And you're like, number one, hi, what's your name? Number two, how'd you know I had a dog? Number three, how'd you know she had cancer? It's like, whoa, you're kind of trespassing. People go, oh, you changed. Like, damn right I changed. Yeah, well, hopefully. You have to work harder to carve time for yourself and for what you care about, irregardless of the rest of the world. And that becomes harder to do. You have expectations on you. So if you're famous for one thing, for instance, I was famous for rom-coms. I had to leave the business for 2 years to get the ability to do something else.
Wow.
And for 2 years, people going, what are you doing? That's not, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. So it's harder, if you get famous for one thing, it's harder to maybe move over and try something else.
Right.
But the upside is just the chance to make those changes, no matter how hard they are. The access to things, people, places, experiences that come with fame are awesome. Backstage passes, whatever in life are great. I also, though, am a realist, and you know me well enough to know that once something's inevitable, I'm like, that check's been cashed. The last thing I'm gonna do is bitch about it. Right? If there's nothing I can do about it, there's no going back for me. So the last thing I'm gonna do is go, oh man, I him and haw about my existence. So am I being optimistic and talking about the upside of it? You damn right I am, because I am famous. Ain't no going back on it.
But you can fall further than the rest of us.
Yeah, but it also comes with inherent ladders to maybe rise higher than I would be able to without fame. And I mean, I'll take that opportunity to bet on that.
Do your own research.
I don't think any person is prepared, and there's nothing you can do to prepare for fame and all of that responsibility and having a ton of money, especially when my parents didn't, and not being able to even just get advice from them on how to manage it, what to do with it. Like,
fame it's a lot for anybody. Fame at a young age, as fast as it came, it's really hard to balance.
Yeah, a lot of it I had to figure out on my own. There was people, you know, here and there who would want to come in and help you, but then, you know, then they're looking for money from it, then they're wanting something from it. They have their own personal agendas. There's very, very few people in the world who want to help others and receive nothing in return.
I'm not built to be famous. I don't like it, you can keep it. I really have not gotten any benefit from it other than, you know, I've gotten out of some speeding tickets and some restaurant reservations, and I don't wait in line at Disneyland, which may in fact be worth it if you've ever waited 5 hours to take a 3-minute ride. And I have no judgment around this. A lot of performers kind of inherently, because nobody wants to play to an empty house, right? They want to have that attention. Part of it's a tree falling in the woods. If you are an artist, you want to have the audience experience your art, trying to generate empathy and move people. Well, if no one's there, so attention, people often conflate it with narcissism and solipsism and self-absorption. It's not really. What it is I'm somebody who wants to express something to people very profoundly, so I want people there to respond to that. And so celebrity itself, the attention in and of itself is not valuable to me personally at all. I'm shy, I don't want to tell people things. I've been criticized so often in my life and mischaracterized and misquoted and characterized in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable. And maybe sometimes it was fair and I just didn't want to accept it. And sometimes it wasn't fair. And the truth is, even when they write something good, I just think like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. You know, like I do not even love being here. So what I'd like to be able to do is my job and not have to do that celebrity part.
I know it's almost impossible for people even to probably even look at my career and the things I've done and think, oh, she didn't want, you know, of course she wanted to be famous. Of course she wanted all that attention, you know, but, you know, it's just, creative expression is what I am, and I would have been doing this whether I became famous or not. I still would be doing what I do. What I'm saying is I wouldn't have given up to try to get famous in another way. Does that make sense? I just wanted to get a job being creative, and I did. And I think the hardest thing for me is that I love people so much, and it is very hard to not be able to engage with people in a real and honest way.
Because they want.
Because they either want something from me.
They want something.
Or they see me as something that I simply am not. I am not some goddess that dropped down from the sky to sing pop music. I'm not some extra incredible human person that needs to be told how wonderful they are all day and kissed and told how incredible. I don't need any of that. Truly, my purpose on this earth is to make people happy through and heal people through music. That's what I am to do, to create fantasies that allow people to not just escape, but to see that there is the potential for magic in life.
She talking real. She talking real.
If you have 1 million followers, like you guys, or you guys are probably bigger than that across everything, but if you go out in public, you'll occasionally take a photo. Like, you know, if you go to Walmart twice a week, you'll get every third time you'll take a photo. It's very validating. You're like, oh, this is awesome. This is like a real career. Look, this guy noticed me. And then when you get to 10 million, it's like a whole different world. Like every time you go out, you're gonna take at least one photo. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. You know, if you're with your girlfriend, you'll take a photo and it's like, look, people like me. But it's like very manageable. But you think that's like the top. But then you go from 10 million to 100 million. And next thing you know, when you go to Walmart, it's not like one photo or two. It's like someone asks for a photo and everyone else looks. And then like there's a line of 20 people. And then, you know, when you're checking out, there's like 5 people behind you, like, you know, what are you doing? What are you buying? Why are you buying those cookies? And it's like, just, you know, I just wanted to buy some cookies, you know, and like, and they keep following you because they're so like starstruck. They're like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I gotta take advantage of this moment. And then they, you know, start posting and their friends come. And if you're like, I have a 5-minute rule. I can't be, after I take the first photo, I can't be there for more than 5 minutes because they always post it on their stories. And then all their friends always come to the place. And within 5 minutes, now there's like 20 other people coming here and it just gets so much crazier. So like you have random things like that. And then when you walk out of a store, you always have to look back and be like, yeah, it was nice meeting you. You don't have to follow me to my car. Okay, take care. You know? It's like, but you don't have to do that when you have 10 million subscribers. You just don't, you know.
10 million? 100 million?
How much has success changed you? How different are you? Probably a lot more paranoid. Success doesn't change you. Fame does. Fame does. You got a whole world of people calling your name and you really don't know them. It's weird. Is there a misconception of the fact that when we become famous that we have these beautiful, perfect lives and that nothing is ever on a low? It's a bad conception.
Absolutely.
Because then people always think that you have to be this grand old person that's just happy about life and everything because what, we got money? Well, money doesn't make you happy. It never did. I mean, history will tell you that. And fame certainly doesn't make you happy, you know? people will tell you that who are famous. You know, you got to find the happiness in yourself. You got to know who you are before you step into this business.
Talk.
Because if you're trying to find it, you'll probably wind up being somebody else that you probably don't even like.
I hate being famous. It sucks. I hate scrutiny. Like, I'm still the shy person from high school. I hate being perceived. I hate coming outside. I don't want to party. I don't want anybody to even look at me, honestly. I don't want to take pictures. I hate being on video. It's the bane of my existence. It makes me really, really uncomfortable to a way that, like I cry. I love connecting with people in the crowd when, like, I feel like it's really me and you right now. And I go eye to eye with so many people during this show. And it's like, it's something about tour that it makes the love, like, real.
Should her video, should her ass be out?
What do people misunderstand about fame?
Fame is a liar and a thief. Fame will ruin you if you buy into it. It will tell you things that you shouldn't have believed, and it'll take from you things that you never wanted to lose. You got to tame that pony quick before it gets the best of you, like it had to so many people. That's why the 27 Club, how many young of the greats died because they couldn't handle the ride.
You never got caught up, did you, with the drugs, the addiction?
Nope.
And it's even interesting watching you from the outside this week. You've been in London, this is the 5th day. I think you're doing interviews most days. And I'm thinking John Bon Jovi's longevity is not just talent, it's talent and hard work, right? Why is it you still are doing that in your 60s when arguably you don't need to?
You know, if you really want to go out and promote a record properly, you need to do the promotion for it. But I want to still do the promotion for it for these couple of days. So I made a deal with myself to show up on time. I choose to want to do it.
You got to respect that.
Do you ever worry that, like, it almost happened to you too fast, all this recognition, that maybe you should have struggled even more?
You know what I feel about that, or about the age thing, is like, because it happened when I was 13, it was like, there's a part of me that feels like I did miss being a teenager. Like, I didn't get to be a teenager, like a normal one. Like, more and more, I get more grateful for it happening young, because I feel like if it had happened later, then people would be able to dig up dirt from when I was that age. Like, if this hadn't happened at that age, I would have been doing some reckless shit. You know what I mean? Now that you know what I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I can't even think of an artist that hasn't had something happen where they found some dirt, they found something they said.
I'm telling you facts. Hear it. This industry is not what it seems to be. Listen.
Like, the music industry is more snakier and more fucked up than the streets.
I'm fine if I lose to fucking Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't fucking get us all here to use your selling point for your fucking show and stiff everybody every single fucking time.
Man, the game is fucking bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game.
Because it's going down, baby. It's going to be terrible. Record sales are going to get worse. Worse till they just amount to nothing. Oh, I'm just going to take my money and leave. I'm just going to run. I'm going to get what's left.
When you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world, there's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. You went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the home shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice going on right there.
You can't make it to the real party because somewhere, if you're not a homosexual, they got a filtering out process.
Yeah.
Because
Are you saying
go ahead.
Somebody at G-Unit tried to get you, bro?
See, look, you trying to sensationalize it. What
I'm
saying
not. I'm trying to figure it out.
I just told you, when you in this business, right, and you got talent,
They want you because you got influence. So if you got the potential to be influential, they want you, not because you're talent, because they could use you as a tool to push their agenda.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?"
No, it's not a joke.
I'm going to be a broken record on this subject until it changes. Look, okay, let me put it like this, yeah? For every song that is released out in the world, there is 100 royalty points on a record. Right? It's how radio will pay the writers, creatives, and the labels. It's how a song has its worth. And the wildest thing to me is with 100 royalty points, a songwriter is entitled to, ask me, guess.
3 points.
50.
Like maybe like 10, 20?
50.
Zero. Songwriters get no points. And if you put your foot down and ask for a point, you're being difficult. We don't do points for writers. La 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 la. I spent so much time with so many incredible songwriters with top 10 freaking Billboard hits and they can't pay rent.
That's
what?
mad.
And it's evil. And you want to know what's worse? Record labels are taking 80 points for marketing.
They don't even have to do that much marketing because they're signing people that have built their own following on TikTok. So they're not, so it doesn't even, they're not.
Wow, 0%.
I also think there was just something in me, though, that was like not comfortable with going beyond a certain level of recognition, which I've been grappling with recently.
Interesting.
Yeah, I watched this video on TikTok and they were like, you're only as famous, you can only be as famous as your nervous system allows. Does that resonate with you?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, yeah, like I have this really hardcore fan base, but previous to this record, I feel like there's always been something that, yeah, there would be a part of me that would be exposed I wouldn't be comfortable with if it went beyond that.
Wow.
I've done a lot of therapy on it.
But what is the core? What are you afraid of exposing? Or
I think it's... people who choose to be in the public eye or like gravitate towards careers, I think a lot of us have this relationship with validation where it's like we maybe begin this career to seek it out, but then we're also grappling with like, well, fuck you, because this is who I am. Like, I don't care if you don't like me. And like the extremes of this career make those moments magnified, especially with like, you know, just fan culture online. It can feel very loud, even if it's not. Like 5 voices can feel like 50. So yeah, I think it's like a really good exercise in self-worth and knowing that you're valuable regardless of what you make and if people like it or not. Because again, an artist's career and life is like this.
Yep.
You have to follow like what is calling to your like spirit or soul. And sometimes people are on the ride with you and other times not, but you just have to like accept that, which is hard. It's like a hard thing.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like you have to do this thing for you.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you're holding yourself back from achieving a new level of fame because that's going to subject you to this idea that people are going to criticize you? And
I don't know if it's about critique. I think there's like a control thing there where it's like I really enjoy freedom. And maybe in my head I had it wrong where I was like, if I wanted to be this level of seen, like, or recognized for my work, then I'm going to have to give up other things. But I don't currently feel like that, but it's just something I've thought about recently and like have worked through. And it's kind of interesting because I think my fans also sometimes feel confused. They're like, why didn't she take this path? And it's for a variety of reasons. It's like with like artists, especially bigger artists, it's like they have forged this path that everyone else is expected to follow to be deemed like important or successful. And I just don't think that's right. One path for one person isn't going to be the right one for the other. And that applies to pop too. It's like, I think your music can infiltrate culture in many different ways.
She was right. One path is only for that one person.
This profession in this day and age, when you see people come up, when you experience people come up and say, I want to be an actor, 9 times out of 10, they want to know how to be famous. Whereas back in the day, it was about paying your dues and about the kind of work that you were doing and what you were reading, and if you were getting people together in weekends and reading through just random plays in the weekends, and you just wanted to get further into it. Right. I think Jerry Seinfeld talked about it recently, where it was like, it wasn't always about money. It changed. Back in the 70s, you were just in the back of the comedy club or whatever, and you wouldn't talk about money. Talk about your set, or you talk about your experience, or you talk about your trials and tribulations of becoming a better comic. And I found the same thing now. It's like, it's less and less do you find actors who just want to like get in the soup, get in the cauldron together and just... What? I don't know. I think just social media, I think this idea of a perception that I said in the beginning, which is celebrities do one thing. They walk down a perpetual red carpet and they wave at people, and people clap for them. When the truth of the matter is like even mentioning Denzel, and I look back at the work that Denzel's done, and I'm absolutely flabbergasted. When he has that tear come down in Glory, or when he's, Cry Freedom is another great, there's just so many great movies that I look at him, and I'm just in awe, in absolute awe. How do you do that? See Daniel Day-Lewis, how do you do that? That's a different version of it, though. When you're transported by story, truly transported, I don't have to live in this reality at all times. And there's other realities that I can live in that are going to mirror my reality and give me a different perspective. That's interesting to me. That's better than taking LSD to me.
Wow.
Because that's my only goal, is to find out how I can be perpetually tripping and not have to deal with jail.
That's wild. LSD is crazy. Stay away from that stuff, y'all.
I'm jealous of my friend's normality, yeah. I'm jealous that my best mate can take his daughter to the park and push her on a swing. Or take her to Disneyland or a zoo or yeah. I'm really jealous of that.
Have you considered shutting down Disneyland so you can take your
But then that in itself is weird, and then your kid kind of grows up in.
You have to wait in line to appreciate the ride.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely jealous of normality. And I know that it's a trade-off that happens, and I know that my friends are jealous of me for having wealth and success. So there is a trade-off of the grass is always greener on the other side. But Yeah.
Is it an open conversation between you guys?
Yeah, totally. And I think they can see how difficult it is to like mourn things with my daughters that I'll never get to do.
Yeah.
In the same way that I can recognize difficulties in their life as well.
That's a good perspective on both sides.
I'm unlucky that a part of my job comes with fame. I don't like that part of my job.
Why?
Because I don't need it, nor do I want it.
What's the cost of it?
People will never appreciate the beauty and the tranquility that comes with anonymity.
Right.
The ability to write your story whenever you meet someone.
Right.
You know? When you meet a stranger, let's say you're at a bar, at a restaurant, in a train station, wherever, you can look at somebody and you can say, hello, my name is, and you can tell them who you are. And what we never seem to realize as people is every time we meet a new person, we are writing our story from the beginning and from that moment in time. When you are now known, your anonymity is gone. People have a different idea of what privacy you deserve or don't deserve.
Right.
I've had many friends who won't go out with me in public because they go, hey man, I want to have a meal and not be disturbed. I want to wear whatever clothes I want to wear without worrying that they'll take a picture of me standing next to you and then I'll look terrible. Or, you know, I don't want to think about these things.
Right.
And I get it. I get where they're coming from. I think many of the downsides of fame are the facts that, as my mom even puts it, you are now owned by the world.
That is heavy.
The problem that no one understands, and I wish there was like training for the public on this, is like, I have to always be moving when I'm in public. I stop moving, it's a death sentence. The crowds start forming, the photos line, and I'm just screwed. Because the thing is, once a line of photos start, by the time you get through that line, a new line that's even longer. And it's the problem, if you let someone else's parents take a photo, bro, it'll take a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
They don't know how to take photos.
I can't let parents take photos. I can't let other people take photos. I have to
walk and talk selfie.
Yeah, I have to do the selfie because the selfie I can do in 30 seconds and I can do while moving and I can control the pacing. I'm going to be called an asshole online because I didn't take photos with the people in line in the line form because I stopped moving. And I have to calculate all these variables when I'm in public. It docks your car. Everyone's trying to, everyone will follow you. Like, you know, you take 2 right-hand turns and the car's still going. Take a third one, take a fourth one. Oh, it's still following me. All right, they're, you know, like, so sometimes I'll have to just drive to the police station.
Wow.
And then people
Wait for them to leave.
Yeah, and then when people are following you in their car, they'll see you pull in the police station. They'll be like, okay, I'll stop. And so I know.
Bruh, that's next level.
Who saw the movie The Matrix? Okay. Good. Then we can start from a point of reference. Matrix was a banging movie to me, and the reason why I appreciated it so much was because, do you remember at the end when Neo like realized his potential? He started to see the binary code. You remember that? The whole world. Well, that's where I'm trying to be spiritually. I'm trying to see the word of God in the whole world. So every time that agent throws a punch, I'm like, I see you. Oh, okay. You know, I'm just catching his punches. You know, so I'm not afraid. You know, I'm not afraid because I'm starting to see that. You know, things are just, situations materialize themselves and, oh, he's an agent. You know, but here's the trick. Here's the trick. You know, here's the trick is that you have to remember that sometimes you can be an agent. You can be an agent to yourself. You can be an agent against someone else and not even realize that you're being used, you know? That's the Matrix.
She was talking some boy.
I am not going to do anything sexual for others.
He was protecting them from Epstein Island? I ain't never heard that.
What do you wish everyone knew about money, fame, and success?
Money doesn't make you smart, it just makes you rich.
Doesn't make you happy?
Does not make you happy. It solves some problems. Absolutely does not make you happy, and it doesn't make you smart.
What do you wish people knew about fame and accomplishments?
Accomplishments are all fabulous, especially if you worked hard for them, and you know, you deserve the opportunity to accept the accolade in and of the moment and enjoy it. Don't measure who and what you are based on any kind of championship ring. It is not who you are, it's just what you do. But I've met many a billionaire who they're not smart because they're missing out on the good things in life, you know, on being a part of their community, on touching the lives of their wives and their children, on sleeping on their pillow at night and knowing that they did something good instead of for a buck.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything is a substitute for hard work and dedication and commitment. And not every day you're going to win, but every day is an opportunity to participate in the process and measure your progress.
Absolutely.
That was good. That was good.
You go, you sign your life away, right? You make most of your money with your advance, but once you blow that, right, whether you blow it on bitches, cars, lifestyle, clothes, everything, then you like, yo, my label's putting me no, I don't have no money, da-da-da-da. You shoulda, and this is an educational thing, manage your money right, because when these labels got you, they own everything. Then you're forced to do what NBA Youngboy did, and just hear me out. You sell your catalog. When you sell your catalog, you sell your publisher share. Your publisher share is your writer's thing where they pay you quarterly. They pay you every 3 months. You get a check for your writers, Sound Exchange, a BMI, whether you're with BMI or ASCAP, right? ASCAP. You sell everything. I say, yo, have my catalog. You have to start fresh. So in my instance, I will have to sell Gummo, Kuda, Billy, Tati, Fifi.
Did you sell those yet?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So you sell your whole catalog. You sell literally your rights to the music, and when you do that, you get a large percent of money, which people think like, yo, I'm gonna blow this, but that's it. You just
give them a more. What could you sell?
That's it. Once you get that, that's it.
For example, like when I'm dropping an album, right? They have phone calls, like media phone calls, deciding what stance so-and-so is going to take within the first hour or within the first 3 hours or within the first 12 hours so that this person doesn't overlap with person. Well, I'm going to say that I hate the album. I don't know what it's going to bring yet, but I'm going to take this stance. Or literally, it's about like I hate to say first responders. That sounds terrible. Shout out to the first responders. We're not talking about all you lovely people. We're talking about first responders in media and in comments. But my advice to you is the fastest comments and the ones that are meant to sit at the top with the most replies. It's a purposeful action, and it's not the genuine reaction to how people feel about you.
Drake, you sound a little funny saying that, bro.
No privacy shit. I have 5 restraining orders and counting.
Hopefully not counting.
Oh,
What
and
do you
counting,
mean
dog. This is in the last 3 years. I got 5. Oh yeah. You know, I've had break-ins, to be real, and that has changed my life forever. Stalkers breaking into my house.
Hell.
People following me, you know, people hiding, and people, you know, threatening me, threatening my brother, threatening my friends, threatening my life. It's fucking scary. I did not sign up for that part. I literally didn't sign up for almost any of it. So, yeah, not to boo-hoo me, but like, it's tough. And I this year have been.
Let me explain being a star to you.
Okay.
Okay. An artist works their entire life to make it to a certain place, to get their music heard. You know, it's the center point of passion, of love, of sex, of money, of drugs, everything meets in entertainment. There is nobody that isn't a fan of some form of entertainment, okay? So they work their entire career to get to this point. They get to that point and they don't know how they made it. They don't know the difference between One Baby and Another Baby, a song. They don't know why you're calling this baby ugly, but you like this one. You'll say that I look like hell on this, but I don't look like hell on that. Or I'm having a bad day and I snap at a fan, it's on the front page of the New York Times. There's these extreme highs and extreme lows. You're standing out there performing for 17,000 people. They're all screaming, I love you, but you have to run off the stage into a dark tunnel, hop into your car, go to a hotel, not see anybody, because that same 17,000 people will rip you to death if they see you. You will get stampeded by them. They infringe upon every part of your privacy. Now, with those extreme highs and extreme lows, you have that extreme high of 17,000 people. Then you walk into that dark hotel room with nobody around you, and you're told, go to sleep, we got to get up at 6 a.m. You're coming off of that high of that show. Wow. What do you do to go to sleep? You have a drink, pop a pill, whatever you need to do to go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
After that hardcore adrenaline rush. at 6 o'clock in the morning when you get back and the sun's coming up. Do you know what I'm saying? Or on to the next city. And then they wake you up fast and say, we need to get you on this plane. So then you don't sleep and the sleep deprivation sits in. So if you don't sleep for 4 days, what happens? Psychosis. So a lot of this is not, I don't think a lot of it is the drugs. I don't think a lot of it is any of that. I think it's sleep deprivation.
It's that.
You know what I mean? They don't sleep for 4 days. They don't eat for 4 days because they're racing against a clock, because every artist's internal clock is you're only as good as your last hit. You know what I mean? So if they release a song and they have a stiff, their career's over to them. So why didn't they like this one? They liked the last one.
That pressure. It's pressure.
I have a phrase that's the best phrase ever. You know, I feel sorry for Justin Bieber, who had to go through all the stuff when he was doing drugs and pissing on the old men off the bridges. I don't know if you heard about all that, and driving the Lamborghini and getting caught by the cop in Miami, blah, blah, blah. And I go, this kid's going through something that I know what he's going through, and probably not another person can understand it right now but me. And what he's doing is can't figure out artificial life of being an entertainer and being a real person. Yeah. Because when you're young, like me, when I was 16, you have no way to differentiate the difference, you know? And you're really just a kid, but you have all this responsibility on your shoulder and you have to be an adult, whether you like it or not. So I was like, man, get him a tool belt, bring him over here. I'll tell him the difference. Don't take it so serious. What's going on? He's going to end up in the 27 club and kill himself or something stupid, you know, because they take things so serious. This is just entertainment. Don't let the words get to you. So my phrase is, never cater to a hater.
You know, the record sales were kind of going down at this point,
I
or
just
was
explained it to you 100% what I went through, and I didn't want to put that part in there, but how I learned to differentiate it was that. So I didn't know. And the reason I didn't, I let it all get to me. This is why I could tell Justin Bieber this or something, you know, because I let that stress, that everything as a young kid coming down on me, more pressure than anybody could ever imagine, probably more pressure than anybody ever to make a song. Ever in the history of music.
Okay.
And we're including Elvis, because he had to face a lot of the stuff I kind of had to face. That's why there were similarities, you know, coming up in the form of music he was doing and the way he was gyrating and all this, right? Same shit with me. But Justin Bieber could use some, you know, a lesson from from how I got through it. Because my therapy was basically, I tried to take myself out because I thought that this was the way my life was going to be forever. I exaggerated to myself. I'm like, you know, this is my life now. This is every dream that I thought came true turned into the worst nightmare, and I'm going to live this nightmare now for the rest of my life. Oh my God, I'm only like 19 or 20 at the time. Dang. I'm ready to die after the wave crashes, stays on the shore, and they're like, I'll never swim out in that mess again. That, God dang, it almost killed me. I'm the guy that says, I'm swimming back out and catch another wave. I learned right then and there the most valuable lesson of my life was that all this is artificial. Everything that you just about killed yourself at 27 is phony. You were exaggerating to yourself. You're looking at this life that you've created and this persona that is larger than life. And you're thinking that's you. That's not you. You're just Rob, man. You're simple Rob, the motocross kid, man, the jackass that was before Jackass and Johnny Knoxville. You're that guy. And once I figured that out, there was a separation. That's the separation that I was telling you that Justin Bieber needed. And then all of a sudden this artificial thing's the same thing I tell my kids. Everything is artificial out there. Everything is artificial. And then when my dad comes home, that's dad. It's just dad.
One of God's favorite angels that was in charge of music.
He said, when I created Satan, his name was Lucifer. He had one ability. And this ability was even built into his physical or spiritual being. I created him as the son of the morning, which means he's the first sound of the morning. He was the one that ushered in the very presence of God.
Came down and started putting messages in. You know, the devil is also the angel of music.
Isaiah 14 and 11 even speaks of vials being built into his body.
Dang.
Vials are pipes.
And that his rib cage is shaped like a heart.
Because of his ability to make music, he got beside himself because he began to see how music could manipulate the emotions of the heavenly beings.
That 808 that a lot of our music is, Boo. And then they put over, I'ma fuck your bitch.
He was cast out of heaven as Lucifer. His name became Satan because he was no longer a heavenly being. But nothing about him changed. Music is a direct link to the heart of a man. Music is the only thing that can go into a mind of a man, disturb his very conscience without his consent.
And that's that frequency that's rolling. And then, oh, here, pop this medication while you pop some Molly's, pop some blah, blah. And that is the standard culture right now of music.
But God began to tell me that if it came from Lucifer, it can't be just music because Lucifer it can't be just music because he's not a physical being. He's a spiritual being. So there must be a spiritual consequence to enjoying a spiritual being. Don't you know that the heart of the author always follows his music? Whoever created it takes credit for it and their spirit stays attached to it? Oh, brother, that ain't true. Where is it? Okay, let's go to the word of God. David was a man after God's own heart. Saul said, I have an evil spirit in me and I need the man of God to come and play for me. But David didn't sing no words. He played an instrumental. But because of his heart, the heart of the author, it was powerful enough that his spirit would follow its music. And the Bible says the evil spirit departed from him. And God began to tell me, just like you can play an evil spirit out of somebody, you can play one in.
People who experience fame have an average lifespan that's 14 years younger than non-famous people.
Everything after I came out was like changed. The way they communicated with me changed. The way they worked with me changed. The way they developed my work changed. Everything changed.
A tax accountant will get you out of your tax problems for the cheap or whatever. But he was basically a con artist and ran away with my biggest earnings up to that point.
It was a Gainsburger Puppy Chow commercial, and I've never stopped working since then, except for when I was institutionalized by my mother.
But it was part of my disassociation that I don't even remember so much of my show that I was on. Yeah. But I do remember how difficult I was to work with because I was in so much pain.
It worries me because there's no Coogan law for it. To hear that these kids are making tens of millions of dollars, it just scares me because I'm like, who's controlling that money and where is it going?
Where is it going? Great question.
I wrote a record for Usher. The song came out. Let's say at the time the song streamed 70 million streams. If I own 20% of the song or 25% of the song, and it did 70 million streams and it's $3,000 per million stream, so it's 3,000 times 70.
Right.
So 210,000. Spotify collects the streams and then they pay the publishers. There's a fixed percentage on the publishing side based on the relationship between Spotify and the music publishers. So that $210,000 that song made had to be bust down. My take on that 210, my take home was probably $1,500.
Wow.
And I went, this is how the math worked. It was this simple. Look, it was this simple.
Wow.
If I'd have put that song out myself and only had 3 million streams, I'd have made $10,000. So I stopped giving records to artists. I'm like, I could give you this record and you could fail and I can get a percentage of your failure, or I could take 100% of my failure and I could take that to the bank.
Right.
So obviously, we get into situations where we will take these people that nobody knows. And then all of a sudden, whether it's coming off the Ultimate Fighter, Contender Series, or just coming into the UFC, and then all of a sudden you start to become famous. And fame is a very weird thing. And some people deal with it well, and some people just nosedive and mess their whole lives up. And I've dealt with both. And one of the things that I've noticed early on, and I'll give the best example I can give you is The Ultimate Fighter. So The Ultimate Fighter, we filmed the show, then it airs, and there's a gap between when they leave from filming to when it actually airs. So I always tell them, I don't know anything about your life personally, but as soon as this show airs, everything's going to change and it's going to get really weird. Whoever gives a shit that you're coming home tomorrow is probably who you should stick with. And it could be girlfriend, wife, it could be your trainers, your managers, your whoever they are. As soon as you start to become famous, all the creeps are going to come out of the woodwork and start, you know, trying to work their way into your life and tell you all these things that they can do for you. And it can be anything, managers, women, whatever. Whoever gives a shit that you're coming home tomorrow is probably who you stick with. And I've seen a lot of these fighters start to head toward divorce once they become famous and they start to make money. And I always try to encourage them not to do it, especially if they have kids, Because I've seen so many people, you know, you go out and you're on the road, 22,000 people are going crazy when you walk into the arena, pictures, autographs, and then you get home to reality and you got 2 or 3 kids and your wife's like, take the trash out, do this, do that. And these guys, you know, egos start to get in the way. And so if you end up getting divorced and then you get remarried and you start all over and you left these kids behind, the grass isn't greener. It's going to be the same shit with a different person. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of life. And I try to talk these guys out of it. And I don't know. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's the best answer I got.
Hiccup. It's everyone kind of goes crazy because you're living in this completely alien world that no one can help you navigate.
Even if you've watched the people closest to you go through it, most of your life, and just right over there, like in the next room, you know, or in the same room,
and a bunch of your friends, it doesn't matter. It's still bananas. It's still an alien world that you live in that no one that you run into during the day except the people like that can understand.
Right.
Which is like people are always like, why do celebrities just hang out with each other? Well, because to them they're the only people that are normal.
Yeah.
They're the only people that, like, I get it. I can't go to the supermarket either. I get it. I get fucking TMZ'd at the airport as well.
Right.
It's like, it's normal for them because everybody else is like, whoa, it's Charlie Sheen. And they're just captivated. Like, you kind of need to be around people that understand what that life is like. But the problem is they're all going crazy too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not, I mean, it's a great support group. To a degree, you know what I'm saying? I think you can rely on them for the things that you have in common,
right?
But maybe take the more complicated shit just right across the street, you know, to the experts.
Yeah. You can't rely on them for everything.
No,
because they're going through it too.
What are the biggest downfalls of being a famous creator? Because you know every kid watching this wants to be you.
If I'm being honest, it's more the fame has been more of a problem than the money. I think if I was like a private, quiet millionaire, billionaire, I think life would be easier than being a famous millionaire, billionaire. Big problem, especially with my ex. Or, you know, any of the girls I was with, like having people always just constantly coming up to us, like all the time. Like even when I'm like eating dinner. And you know, normally with someone like, let's say, I remember I went to, I think it was Pakistan, and Fredo was there, Keanu Reeves was there. They're all just chilling. And, you know, I was there and I was like, out of all those 3 people, everyone would just come to me. Like I would be the one that people would just walk to and just be like, hey, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? Someone like Fredo, they'd just be like, oh, that's Fredo. And that, leave it at that. Or Keanu Reeves, you just look and be like, and that's it. Whereas with me, it's like, you come up to me. You demand the photo.
Ain't no picture in hip hop.
Do you have a 401k?
You want me to explain to you what hip hop is?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Let me explain to you what hip hop is. The worst loan you could ever make. When you sign to a major label, that money that they give you, let's say they give you 800 grand, right? That's a loan. You have to pay back that loan with interest. So if you don't make back that 800 grand, what they do is they put you in the red, but you can still be hot. And you didn't make back that 800 grand. So you can still be hot. So they'll give you another album. And they'll give you, instead of 800 grand, they'll give you 1.2 this time, right? So now, but you're still in the hole for that 800. You understand? But now you got another 1.2. And if you don't make that, then you're just in the red for both. And this is a loan with interest that you don't get nothing out of. Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win. It's never been meant for the artist to win. And the more and more you learn, the more and more you read your contracts, the more and more it's disturbing.
He talking facts, though.
My friend that I was referencing is Liam Payne, who's from One Direction, the boy band who passed away. And he was on my podcast and a few years before he passed away. And on the show, he said that much of what made his early life so difficult as a teenager was he was obviously thrust onto this big show. And then the way it worked was, you got all this public spotlight. And then they'd like put him up on a stage and he'd be in front of 100,000 people in Dubai. And then after that experience, he was then like driven back to a hotel room and like locked in the hotel room because obviously you can't go out because you're that famous that if you walk out on the street, the crowds are going to emerge. Yeah. So he was then locked in that hotel room. And on the show, he said, I was locked in there with the minibar, which is full of alcohol. Yeah. So I would drink and that cycle would repeat itself. And he'd be like stage, car, hotel, locked, drink, stage, car. And that cycle repeated itself.
Hey, speaking of love.
This is love.
I saw a guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Yo, this show has gotten crazier since the last time No,
it's all about love, though. That's not true?
You really heard that? No.
What? Yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends. Where did this...
All right.
You want to be famous? This is why most people want to be famous.
One of the main reasons why people want to be famous is because at some point in their life they didn't feel valuable. At some point in their life they felt discarded, they felt abused, they felt ignored, and they had this inescapable need for attention, this hole that cannot be filled. And that was the driving force that led them into acting, where they could be on that stage and everyone was looking at. Being ignored as a child, feeling like you were nothing, and then realizing that when you're on stage, man, then you're something. Like that person up there with the spotlight on them, that person's shining. That's a something person. That's not, I feel like a zero.
Don't even eat with their fathers anymore, or their mothers. The family bond has been broken. It's an outcry for attention why kids are going to school with guns. They want love. They want to be touched. They want to be held. But they're busy off on their day job and, and they leave them at home on the computer and they just doing all kind of crazy stuff, and that's destroying our world. We need to bond again. That's very important.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that.
I give you all kinds of juice on like what it's like to hit a certain level on YouTube. Yeah. Especially in the early days where it wasn't so common. Yeah. I think even now if you just popped off super famous, it wouldn't be as bad. I don't know the exact amount, but I'll tell you this: we had 24-hour police officers at my home for 5 years. What? Every day, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, every day of the year, 24-hour police. We had to build a guard shack, a gate, a fence around the whole property. Whoa. It was chaos. And honestly, if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't have cared. Yeah. I probably just wung it. But with the kids, I did everything possible to secure the property. Spent, I don't know, way over $1 million on police officers. I hired a lot of the police that worked in the town. So that's one part of being a content creator is just the sheer mass of success we had in the early days of YouTube when it was so unique. Yeah. To be successful on YouTube, eyeballs on you. It attracted a lot of want to see this YouTuber. Yeah. Right. We've had a handful of incidences where, people would jump the gate and get caught by the police, and a lot of that off camera. We had an entire incident where we were actually off the internet, which was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I think at times, I think of my favorite TV show, right? And then I think about it just ending without a word. Yeah. I'd be pissed. Yeah. I had to do that. Yeah. I had to do that, and it broke my heart, and my viewers were worried, and it was just one of those things is that when the FBI says, look, should leave the internet. They actually, I don't remember them saying leave the internet. They're not legally allowed.
Yeah.
But they made it clear you should get off the internet until this is over. That ended up taking a year.
So crazy.
That ended up taking a year.
Because you really didn't say anything.
Couldn't say a word.
You just stopped posting. You and Brittany and nothing.
Ghosted.
Just ghosted them.
Ghosted.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I remember this happening, but you literally gave no, hey guys, we'll be back.
The situation was so intense that we just did.
I started putting out songs commercially in 2006. Until 2020, nobody knew who I was. I became an artist in about 2018, 19. I started releasing music as myself. TikTok got really big. I was in a TV show at the same time, and I became famous in 2020. So I saw both sides of it. And I'll tell you one thing. If I could ever go back to being the guy just behind the thing, I would do it in a heartbeat. And it has nothing to do with like the people, like they're all so sweet. I have the best fans in the world. But before this happened to me, I used to say like to artists, I'd be like, what are they talking about? Their life's not that bad. It's like, what are you talking about? And now looking at it, like, yeah, it's not my favorite part of the day. Like I dread like when I'm like, oh fuck, I got to go outside today. And the crazy thing that I will tell you is TikTok blew up me as a songwriter. So all these kids in the world, the trend online where they're like, oh, Benny Blanco wrote the Bible. Benny Blanco wrote the Declaration of Independence because I wrote all these songs and they all had a resurgence in like 2020, all the old songs. When I was a kid, there was no point of interest. There wasn't Instagram. There wasn't TikTok. There wasn't YouTube. I used to wait outside of a studio. And if somebody walked out, I would say, do you make music? I had no idea who the fuck anyone was. You didn't know anything. And it's cool now, I think.
All right, guys, that was another TikTok compilation, man. That was warnings from celebrities about the dark side of fame, man. Look, you made it this far. You a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments, man. But listen, this stuff is creepy, bro. Having 24-hour security or police patrolling your crib for 5 years? Crazy. This was a crazy one. This was definitely another side of fame, and a lot of people don't really talk about. This was very interesting. But look, man, till next time, self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it. Woo.